Well, Father has given me the honor and privilege of preaching today. And I'm here to, first off, say thank you to everybody for all your many prayers and support over this last year and a half. As you may know or may not know, I have been away from ministry since last summer. The first week of July was the last time I served at the parish before I started serving again this last month. And it was due to the fact that I was diagnosed with cancer, multiple myeloma, which is a bone marrow cancer, last August. And it was through your prayers and support and what Father Brad has done for me over the year and a half, and my wife Susan, and all of the parishioners and staff that I've been able to get through this very easily. I would like to say that when the doctor told me last August, you have multiple myeloma, immediately when he said that, serene peace came over me. I found out that I had surrendered myself to God at that moment. And I really did surrender. And I have been blessed ever since then. And I feel so great because of everything that's happened. This is all in God's hands, and I know that this is the way it was supposed to be. And I thought before this happened that if I surrendered, which I said before, well, God, I surrender to you. But in reality, I didn't surrender. I always had my agenda. I always had my things that I wanted to do. I had my way of saying, well, if you do this, I'll do that. But in this case, I really did surrender. And I have felt so great ever since. It has been a wonderful year. And I just want to say thank you again. I don't know how to say it otherwise, because it was the prayers that made all this possible. When I was diagnosed, 90% of my bone had multiple myeloma in it. This last June, I was told that I have 0. I'm completely cured. So this is how God works. If we really do give ourselves over to God, God will take care to do what God has in His will, not our will. But we have to understand that God is in charge, not us. And I realize that, and I have just appreciated everybody, everything, my life since then. And as we hear in the gospel readings today, in the readings from Malachi, we're getting near the end of our liturgical year, and it talks about things happening and war and destruction and other things going on. But we have to realize that each day is a gift from God, and each day we need to understand that our life could end at any moment. And so we need to live our life in accordance with that. And St. Paul says in Thessalonians that they were to imitate what they were doing. Well, we're there to imitate Christ. We're all called to imitate Christ. And if we live a Christian life, then we will do what Christ has taught us to do in terms of love, support, and understanding for others. And in that regards, when I got the letter from the bishop saying that I was to be accepted in the diaconate class, I realized at that point that I needed to change my lifestyle and be more Christ-like. Because as I go out into the different parts of the city, and I'm driving, or I'm at the store, or I'm doing something else, and if I kind of act like a jerk to people, I don't know if it's a parishioner that's sitting in the pew in front of me or not. And so I have to be careful in how I live my life. And so I realized that's what Christ is teaching us. And I think we all have to live that way, because you never know who the person is that's sitting next to you, if it's the person that you just cut off in traffic, or you just did something that was not so nice and polite. And so let's think about how we live our life in terms of how Christ teaches us and how we go forward. I wear a mask when I come in and when I process out because in March I had a bone marrow transplant and it completely wiped out my immune system. And so because of that, I have to be careful until my immunity is back up to speed. And so please don't take it as a sign of disrespect or a sign that I'm not friendly, but I shouldn't be shaking hands and I shouldn't be hugging people at this point. I need to kind of keep my distance and keep my mask on. And that's what I want you to know, that it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with where I am in my progression and healing. And I still am gaining my strength back, which in the earlier Mass, it was a little questionable there for a little bit, but I'm taking it one step at a time. And I hope to get back to ministry as much as possible because I love serving the people. I love doing what we're doing in terms of service to others. And so as we go forward from here, let's think about how do we serve others? How do we imitate Christ? How do we live our life? And are you willing to surrender to God? Are you willing to give your life over to God and let God take charge and know that whatever it is in accordance with His will, and it's the best thing that could happen to us. So again, I appreciate all of your support, love, the cards, the meals. As I said, we've been so blessed throughout the last year and a half. I can't express it even any better than that. And I'm here to thank you for that and to also let you know that this is a parish that I'm so thankful for with Father Brad and all of my friends and family and parishioners here that I've known over the years, that you really do serve Christ. And let's go forward from here being more Christ-like in what we do. Amen.